All right, go ahead and raise your hands, and I will get you the mic.
John, a lot of production from 6 through 9 in the batting order tonight. How important is it to have those contributions up and down the lineup?
Yeah, I think those guys that, Kirky with the walks, obviously huge homer for Cav. KK had great at-bats too. Witt seems to find himself in the middle of everything. Whenever he can do that and kind of turn it over to the top, it's a good thing.
Yeah, Witt's been on base every game this season. What's working for him right now?
He's a good player. I think just being in there pretty consistently, I've said it before, he does a lot of things that help you win, not just what he does in the box. But he's, feeling good. I think we're kind of seeing the player that he's always been.
John, I imagine with the way Chris is pitching, the last thing you'd want is to see something that interrupts his role. Can you tell us a little bit about what happened with his back there, and how did he look to you before that?
Yeah, his back, it's just kind of like lower back tightness. The fact that he was kind of hanging in the dugout after was encouraging. But before that, I thought he was kind of just his usual self. The double from Vaughn, kind of the only really hiccup. I thought his sweeper was good. He's got the kitchen sink, but I thought he was really efficient. I thought he really mixed his pitches well, and kind of just a typical Chris Bassitt outing. He was kind of keeping him off guard, taking advantage of, their aggressive approach. I thought he was outstanding tonight.
I know it's early. Is there any sense if the back tightness might impact his ability to make his next start?
We'll see. We'll see how he comes in tomorrow and just kind of take it day by day. But again, I think the fact that he was in the dugout is a good sign. It was that walk over here.
Hey, John, if you could speak a little bit about that Cavan homer. Obviously, maybe not the start to the season that he would like, but does this seem like a momentum shifting, maybe, or a confidence builder for him?
I'm sure confidence builder, yeah. He's working, the right way, and hasn't really gotten off to the start he wanted to, like you said. But I've told everyone, I'm never going to stop believing in you guys. And he got a pitch he could handle, took advantage of it, and love seeing that out of him. I think it was a little bit of a jolt for the dugout too, and obviously great for Cav.
And could you expand a little bit on Kirk's couple of walks there, smack in the middle of that lineup, maybe working a little bit as a bridge, right, between the top and the bottom there? Yeah,
he's got a knack for getting on base, just the way he controls his zone. He gets out there. He's, speed on the bases too, a little bit of a threat. Kidding, but it's, that's kind of his MO, he controls the zone. Last year, more walks and strikeouts. It's just, you want those at bats, and I think that does set up, really well for the guys behind him, and they did their part tonight too.
Don't sleep on Kirk. He led the team in infield hits last year.
Yeah, he did.
But Brandon Belt coming around, hitting .333 since that opening road trip. What have you seen from him?
Kind of just who he's been his whole career. I think kind of getting into the swing of the season and not missing his pitch. I think his at-bats have been really consistent over the course of the year, and just was like a click behind on pitches he usually hammers. So great to get him rolling. Series in New York was really good for him, but just kind of what we expected out of Brandon.
That Luis Robert catch there,
yeah.
I guess looks like the wall goes both ways.
Yeah, he's made a few of those this year. He's really good out there. Not quite sure how that ball didn't get out off Chappie's bat, but he's an exciting player. That was a hell of a catch. You got to tip your hat.
Hey, John, after a stretch against Houston and the Yankees and Tampa, coming in against a team like this, what does it show you in terms of their approach, that they're able to lock in and take care of business?
Yeah, that's a good team. They're missing a lot of key pieces, but, their lineup is dangerous at the top. And, Lance Lynn has been a good pitcher for a long time. So I think that, going out and kind of doing what you're supposed to do and staying the course, it's a testament to those guys. Their approach, the meeting before the game was good. They're locked in, So I think just having that sole focus of trying to win every night, I think that was really apparent tonight. And obviously there were some big at bats there, Cav, Chappie, and Witt. But I think it's just a testament to these guys.
John, on the Biggio home run, looks like that breaking ball broke directly into Biggio's barrel. Was there something in the matchup there that you guys liked going in beforehand?
Yeah, I mean, Lynn usually throws a lot of heaters, and I think if you can just push him down in the zone, especially for Cav, it's a good spot. Struck him out on a backdoor cutter his first at bat 3-2 and kind of went back to it probably one too many times. I think it's a credit to Cav for really kind of staying disciplined to what he wanted to swing at, and he didn't miss it when he got it.
John, it's a nice start for another starting pitcher. It's 6 in a row now. It's really been nice. With Pearson up now, is there a spot where you'd like to see him in the bullpen?
I mean, in a perfect world, he's coming in a clean inning. But I think, with what he's done since spring training and what he was doing in Buffalo, we feel comfortable putting him in anywhere. So whatever the situation is, whatever the game state dictates, we'll kind of go from there. But he's here for a reason. He's got electric stuff, and we'll trust him in any spot.
Is Vlad asking for a green light now on the bases?
Well, again, I think it's he's really good at understanding tendencies, and he takes a lot of pride in not just being kind of a base clogger over there. If the situation comes up, he's going to take advantage of it, and I think a lot of guys are. That's what we've talked about on this team. So. Loved him doing that there. If a pitcher's going to be a 1-6 and 1-7, Vlad he can steal a few here and there.
Okay, thanks everyone.
Thank you, guys. How many hot dogs we eat? 4. Yeah, me too.
All right, go ahead and raise your hands and I'll get you the mic.
John, Berrios tonight, what was he doing specifically that made him so good?
Velo was there. Game plan, I thought he executed great. And change up, both righties and lefties. You got your sinker working like that in on righties, and you double it up with a changeup. It's really tough. Breaking ball was good. Almost stole a couple 0-0 to some lefties too. They were close. He's a confident dude right now, and he's just executing.
Last year, we've talked to you after a lot of starts that were not like this. What made you so confident that you would see these days again?
I think, for one, track record. He's been doing it for a long time. I think the work that he put in the offseason really put him in a good state of mind coming into attack spring training, and confident with some of the adjustments he made. So it's only a matter of time. When you're that good, it's only a matter of time till you get back on track.
John, Danny obviously didn't have a great start, but he seems to lock in. Where do you see him in terms of his swing, his approach right now?
Yeah, it's kind of typical, kind of what we saw back half of last year. Really competitive at bats. I thought it started really before we hit the road. Had a couple hits here, but really finding the barrel now. I think he's kind of slowed down a little bit at the plate. He can do damage. It's kind of comes in bunches with him. But his at bats have been pretty consistent for a while, and starting to see the results.
Hey, John. What did you think of Nate Pearson's relief appearance tonight?
I thought it was great. Probably a little bit fast. I think that first at bat against Elvis, and slowed down. Landed the curveball to Benintendi with 2 strikes, which was great. I think perfect night to kind of get his feet underneath him again. Velo was there, stuff was there. It was just probably going a little bit fast for him the first hitter or so, but settled in, and I thought he did a really good job.
John, you mentioned the velo with Berrios. The pitch he struck out, I think, Eloy with to end the first inning was the hardest pitch he'd thrown in 5 years.
Yeah.
Where's he getting this wind in his sails?
I mean, I don't know to answer that question honestly, but I think that kind of goes back to mentality and being aggressive and, kind of just letting his stuff do what it does. He's had a couple of those 97s, I think, or close to it, thinking back to that outing against Tampa here. Yeah, I mean, he prides himself in, staying in good shape and things like that, but I think it's just kind of a little bit of adrenaline and kind of heat of the moment.
And you had Yimmy up before Pearson in the 8th. Were you thinking that, given that he's had a rough time lately, this would have been a nice little
That was
Time
the
to give him
seventh,
an
right?
inning?
Yeah, seventh inning. Yeah, I think just kind of where they were in their lineup and how he matched up. If there was some traffic there, kind of try to squash it right there and then turn it over to Nate and Anthony.
John, what are you seeing confidence-wise in Berrios right now? His demeanor on the mound certainly seems different than it did last year at times.
Yeah, I mean, I think for one, he's having success. He's gotten on a. We talked about it before the game about being on a roll. I think we can kind of say he's on a pretty good roll, and it kind of just it can snowball either way. I think maybe you saw it a little bit the opposite way last year, and just being confident in his work and seeing the results that go with it. It's again not going to ask anyone to be who they're not. But I think when you're doing what he's doing, it's easy to kind of feel the way he's feeling and look the way he's looking.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.